In the previous video, you saw that it is important to align online and offline activities. You need to think which activities will take place in the classroom and which activities will take place online. In this video, we will take a look on how this can be done. One of the most important reasons to start blended learning is to spend the time with your students in another way. Instead of lecturing, you can start interacting. But before you can start interacting, you need to move the presentation out of the classroom and use the classroom time differently. As you can imagine, this reshuffles your learning activities. So it is very important to think about the sequence of your activities. You need to determine which activities will take place online and which activities will be in the classroom. First, you need to think about the activities which can be moved outside of the lecture. Presentation is mostly sending of information. There isn't a lot of interaction, except perhaps a single question from the audience. By moving the presentation online, you free up time in your classroom. This time can be spent on answering questions of students, help them with exercises, lab work, or for example an excursion. This way, the classroom time is much more valuable for your students. So think about your activities and how your face-to-face time is most useful for your students. The second thing you need to think about is, activities need to follow up on each other. When students watch the video on a specific topic, it is very important that follow-up activities build upon that knowledge. So it would not be wise to have a lecture on the same subject. It is better to dive into the materials by practicing and applying the knowledge. This can be done by using classroom discussion or, for example, peer instruction with clickers or some other activities. Let's look at an example, namely the first week of this blended learning course. This week was all about getting familiar with the concept of blended learning, filling your toolbox with learning activities, and creating a blueprint for your course. In the beginning of the week, you needed to watch videos, write down the key messages, and collect some course information. In the face-to-face meeting, we did the TPAC game, experienced peer instruction, and you started with your course blueprint. And after the meeting, you worked on the blueprint, gave peer feedback, and contributed to the wiki. When we look at these activities, we see that they follow up on each other. The face-to-face time is used for interaction. All the other activities took place online. And also notice the sequence of the activities. We shifted from just reading and watching information to applying the new knowledge in activities and the course blueprint. A couple of remarks. Only watching a video or reading a chapter is not enough. Make sure that there is always a follow-up activity. So make sure that the students make a quiz, make a summary, come up with questions about the materials, or do some other additional activity. Another remark, don't overfeed your students with activities. It is very tempting to let your students watch a video, let them summarize an article, let them make a quiz, and let them create a video by themselves. However, students only have a certain amount of time for the course. So make sure that all the activities fit in the time the students have for the course. So, to summarize, the sequence of the learning activities is very important. Think about which activities you want to do face-to-face and which activities can be moved online. And make sure that the activities build upon each other. This way, you will use your time as optimal as possible.